Good morning and welcome to Rapid Dawn. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning and I'm so excited from the bottom of my heart to be here this morning. How was your night? That's not the kind of question I like to hear anyway because I always don't sleep well, but I'm sure you had a very great sleep. So, what's that? Anyway, my name is Cynthia Agwell. Today promises to be super exciting. But of course, I'm not alone. I have Ugochukwu here. How are you?
I'm very well. So myself, I am excited, but not from the bottom of my heart. I can't lie, okay? Somewhere from the top. I'm not excited from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
And that's only because the bottom of my heart is reserved for loving up on you and serenading you with a lot of goodness, especially on the morning show. Good morning and welcome. It's the second working day of the week. Monday started with quite some interesting events, and thank God for life.
All right. Of course, we give thanks to God for life. We're going to move straight to health and wellness this morning because it's very, very important that we give you tips on how to go through the day in terms of your health. And so on health and wellness this morning, we're looking at benefit of milk. I'm sure you will love that. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back, viewers. What happens when you drink 1 glass of milk daily? Ever heard about a glass of milk being a whole meal? Well, technically, it can be considered as such as it contains the 9 essential nutrients. As it turns out, your mother and grandma are right for forcing you to drink a glass of milk daily. So, if you're used to drinking coffee, then you may want to consider cutting back on it and switching it with plain old milk. So, how exactly does milk benefit the body? There are several ways, and we'll be going over them one by one. Examples of these are helping with weight loss and improving bone health. More on this in a little while, so don't go just yet and continue watching. Number 1, it is excellent for the bones. If there's one thing drinking milk has long been associated with, it's the fact that it keeps our bones healthy. For starters, it's loaded with calcium. Calcium is crucial for the growth and development of bones. In fact, 99% of the body's calcium goes to the bones and teeth. Second, it's rich in other important nutrients such as phosphorus, protein, potassium, and vitamin K2. Milk is also an excellent source of magnesium and vitamin D. All those combined are necessary for maintaining strong, healthy bones. Studies have linked milk and dairy consumption to a reduced risk of osteoporosis and fractures, particularly in older adults. Also, protein is another key nutrient for bone health, which is abundant in milk. In fact, protein makes up about 50% of bone volume and around 1/3 of bone mass. Real quick, hit that like button and let's get back into it. Number 2, it helps with weight loss. Struggling with excess weight? Milk might help you with this. Milk has a variety of components that can contribute to weight loss and prevent weight gain. First off, its high protein content keeps you feeling full for a longer period of time. In turn, this can prevent overeating. Moreover, the conjugated linoleic acid present in milk has been studied for its ability to increase weight loss by encouraging fat breakdown and inhibiting fat production. In addition, many studies about diets rich in calcium have been linked with a lower risk of obesity. According to evidence, people with higher consumption of dietary calcium have a lesser risk of being overweight or obese. So, if you can incorporate milk, ideally whole milk, into your diet, then it may help you shed some pounds. Number 3, it aids in muscle growth. Milk is also great at promoting muscle mass gain, mostly due to the protein found on it. Milk contains all 9 of the essential amino acids. These include branched-chain amino acids, which can particularly help build muscle, prevent muscle loss, and supply fuel during exercise. What's more, drinking milk daily is associated with a lower risk of age-related muscle loss according to several studies. In fact, a higher intake of milk and milk products has been linked to greater whole-body muscle mass, not to mention better physical performance in older adults. When drunk after a workout, milk helps the body recover and the muscles repair. On top of that, having a milk post-workout can decrease muscle damage, promote muscle repair, and ease muscle soreness. Number 4, it benefits teeth health. As mentioned previously, most of the calcium in the body is stored in the bones and teeth, and nothing beats drinking milk to make your teeth stronger or to prevent damage. Reports suggest that having a glass of milk a day can help prevent cavities and tooth decay. That said, it's important to note that calcium can only be absorbed by the body when there's vitamin D present. Thus, you have to ensure you're drinking milk that's fortified with vitamin D. On another note, milk and dairy products contain not only calcium and phosphorus, but also casein protein. All these, when combined, form a protective film on the enamel. This coating then helps ward off tooth decay caused by common bacterial acids. Number 5, it gives you more nutrition with fewer calories. Is calorie counting part of your regular life? You don't have to worry about this with milk, as it provides extra protein to help you get healthy and lean, and with fewer calories at that. Milk is also a good source of magnesium, vitamin A, zinc, and thiamine. Even calcium, vitamin D, B12, and potassium, which aren't typically found in many diets, are present in milk. However, the nutritional content of milk varies. Grass-fed cow's milk, for instance, has higher amounts of antioxidants. It also has remarkably higher amounts of conjugated linoleic acid and omega-3 fatty acids, both of which are linked to many health benefits. Number 6, it helps ward off diseases. Besides keeping the bone and teeth healthy, calcium plays an essential role in the heart pumping process by allowing your muscles to contract efficiently. For this reason, a glass of milk a day can keep fatal diseases such as stroke and high blood pressure at bay. The link between stabilized blood pressure and milk is mostly due to the trio of minerals found in milk, namely calcium, potassium, and magnesium. Furthermore, lactose in milk helps reduce the production of bad cholesterol in the liver. As a result, this helps improve your eyesight, but more importantly, it helps your body fight certain types of cancers. Also, as discussed earlier, milk helps control your appetite, thus reducing the risk of obesity. Suffice it to say, milk is one heck of a disease fighter, so don't write it off too quickly. Number 7, it eliminates heartburn. These days, it's easy for people to get heartburn because many foods now have heartburn-causing acids and are spicy in nature. Sadly, these are culprits of harrowing acidity and stomach problems. This is where a glass of milk comes in to save the day. It's a simple yet effective way of alleviating pain brought by heartburn. With its cooling sensation and thick consistency, the milk works to coat the esophagus and stomach lining, effectively fighting heartburn. Number 8, it helps the aging process. Women specifically experience a distinct decrease in metabolic rate as they age. Bone strength declines with age, eventually increasing the risk of osteoporosis. On the bright side, the combination of calcium and vitamin D obtained from drinking milk daily has a synergistic role in boosting bone mineralization as we age. Similarly, experts suggest keeping in mind that sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, is more prominent in women versus men. In relation, they suggest women drink milk daily to strengthen their skeletal structure and prevent osteoporosis. Although the most pertinent time to drink milk is up to the age of 30, it's also during the early years of development that bones develop mass and build their structure. Vitamin D in milk can also help maintain bone strength and muscle mass as we get older. People who have lactose intolerance, eyes here. Some people don't have a problem with milk. However, others can't digest it or simply choose not to consume it. Lactose is a sugar found in milk and dairy products. Unfortunately, many people can't tolerate milk because their bodies are unable to digest lactose. It might not seem so, but lactose intolerance is actually quite common. In fact, it affects around 65% of the world's population. Some people choose not to drink milk or dairy products due to health concerns, dietary restrictions, or ethical reasons. Thankfully, there's a wide range of non-dairy milk alternatives. Plus, lactose-free kinds of milk have the same impressive nutrient profile as regular milk. Thus, health-wise, they can still benefit you. These kinds of milk include: Number 1, almond milk. Almond milk is a plant-based alternative that's made from almonds and has lower calories and fat than cow's milk. Number 2, soy milk. Made from soybeans, soy milk contains a similar amount of protein as cow's milk and has a mild flavor. Number 3, cashew milk. Cashew milk is another lactose-free beverage, but this time is made from whole cashews and water and boasts a subtly sweet and rich flavor. Number 4, coconut milk. This mild-flavored tropical drink is made from coconut flesh and water and usually has a creamy texture. Number 5, rice milk. An ideal option for people with allergies or sensitivities since it's the least allergenic of all non-dairy alternatives. Number 6, oat milk. Boasting a very mild flavor, oat milk makes a perfect addition to several hot beverages and cereals. Number 7, hemp milk. Hemp milk is made from whole hemp seeds and has an earthy, nutty flavor. When picking a non-dairy milk substitute, bear in mind that many of these products have added ingredients like artificial flavors, preservatives, sweeteners, and thickeners. A good rule is to choose one with limited ingredients when comparing brands. Read the labels to know which best suits your needs. If possible, opt for unsweetened varieties to minimize the amount of added sugar you consume. What are your thoughts about drinking milk daily? Is it doable or meh? Let us know in the comments down below.
That's Nina Simone right there, singing with that song "Ain't Got Nothing." I mean, no matter what, at least you have Rapid on, or you have milk. Uh-huh. What?
It depends on how available and affordable the milk is, eh? Yeah. Affordability and availability is key.
She did not say that in the song. She just said "Ain't got no, ain't got no." So I was trying to remind them what they have. You have milk, so you see. At least you have.
Depending on how affordable and available it is. Yeah, it's good we add that.
If you have cow, you have meat, and you have milk, cow milk.
Okay. Okay.
Just try to make sure it's healthy. All right, so any day, anytime, Nina Simone is one artist you always want to listen to. All right, so moving on to health that came before then. So we have benefit of milk, and there are several benefits of drinking milk, and the different types of milk. Just in case that you're like me, who doesn't want to do animal milk, you have your almond milk, you have your soy milk, you have your rice milk, you have your oat milk, you have hemp milk, you have several non-animal milk, just in case. And like I mean, just in case you have difficulty choosing the product, I always recommend that you make it yourself. I mean, you can make your oat milk yourself, you can make your soy milk yourself. In that way, you know exactly what you're taking into your system. You can even make your what's it called? You can even make your rice milk yourself. So in that way, you don't have to start thinking of the product you're buying, if the preservative is too much, or if the sweetness is too much, or if this was put in good quantity. You don't have to worry about that. If you're making your milk from oat milk, for example, you decide the amount of dates you want to use, right? I prefer the one with dates. So you decide the quantity of dates you want to use depending on the measurement of the oat that you're using, right? If possible, you can even use what they call aya. You can add it to your milk. So all of that is natural. You decide how you want it to taste. I think it's better that way. But if you want to keep going for the animal milk, I mean, there are a variety of products out there that you want to definitely patronize. But milk is very, very good.
Very important.
For your body.
Surprised you didn't mention the one peculiar type of milk that, it's also quite beneficial. Yeah. Surprised you didn't mention it.
Which one?
Oh, I can't mention it either. But it's actually quite important.
Was it in the video?
Well, I think it was, I don't know if it's a deliberate omission, but the very fact that you didn't mention it and they didn't mention it as well, I'm wondering, is it really, is it something that should be neglected? Because it's really important.
Then mention it now so we all can hear that it's important.
Oh, okay. I will mention it later.
What happened?
I will mention it to you in confidence, but this is what I'm going to tell you.
In confidence? I don't like things in confidence.
Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
It is the best kind of milk to have when you're born. I'm not going to say more than that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. At this point, let's go to the papers. Let's look at some of the big stories that are happening on our national dailies this morning, since Ugo does not want to mention the name of the milk.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll start with the Guardian paper this morning. Conscience nurtured by truth. Over 30,000 jobs lost to closure of manufacturing firms in 4 years. These are the problems with the big papers this morning. Always something not to smile about. Federal government, Dangote, NNPC meet, explore solutions to refinery crude crisis. And the planned protest, NLC, NANS, others insist government must address hunger and hardship. GDP ranking, it's been 9 years of retrogression. Obi laments. Let's move on to the next paper this morning.
Oh, okay. From the the Guardian paper to the Punch. Windfall tax. Federal government insists on sanctions for defaulting bank chiefs. Proposed 2% penalty on withheld levy. There's also the story for which details you're going to find on page 23, which says organized private sector opposes fresh interest rate hike. How many times are they going to increase the interest rate? That makes it really difficult as a business person if you want to get loans from the bank. Global banks to inject $7.5 billion into Nigeria's power sector. Okay, that is good news. Fuel crisis, marketers project 700 billion monthly subsidy. NNPC mom as dealers insist government still paying subsidy. Okay, this is serious now. Reps probe crude shortage. Dangote eyes foreign markets for refinery products. Federal government meets Kyari Dangote over dispute. Okay, that's certainly a big issue right now. Nigeria records $1 billion international transfer inflows in 3 months. Hunger protest. NLC warns against clampdown. There's a story on mastermind of Abuja General's mother nabbed in Kano. Okay, immigration officer, 3 others arraigned for drug trafficking. That's all we can take from the Punch this morning.
Moving on to the next paper this morning. Okay, Daily Sun. It seems to be a big appreciation there too.
Is it the president's birthday?
How many birthday 1 year?
Oh, I mean, it's syndicated across almost all of the papers.
Well, reps, we're going to leave that part and then we're going to move to issues of national discourse, which is security forces warn sit-at-home promoters. Okay. APC calls for Obaseki's impeachment over Nigeria will burn comment. Ha 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 ha. NPA rakes in 541 billion naira revenue, remits 255 billion naira in first half of 2024. This is coming from Coco. Reps wade into Dangote and MDP R8 feud. That needs to be addressed because it's becoming a should I call it a national now or international? It's becoming an international.
When the richest man in Africa begins to cry, now that time you're supposed to say water don't pass Gary.
Well, there are people that have contrary thoughts towards that, but these are not the thoughts that I would want to even go into right now. Let's leave that for social media.
Okay then, Nigerian Tribune is up next. MPA, that should be the Nigerian Ports Authority, rakes in 541 billion naira revenue, hands over new staff clinic, 5 other completed projects to successor. That's from the outgoing MD now. Tantita Security Chairman congratulates head of service, says Tinubu has continued to honor South-South. Court dismisses Abacha family's 500 million suit against IG over Abuja property. Bill to establish local government electoral commission. Don't undermine federalism, political parties. Others won. Details on page 15. We have a story on Enugu security forces issue stern warning to sit-at-home promoters. Say we will appear to you like a ghost and deal with you like a ghost. Okay, that's very serious now. Obi laments dwindling economy. Land use charge crisis between Oyo government, TCN, affecting our members, coming from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Federal government moves to resolve crude supply dispute with Dangote. There's a story with regards to politics. Edo 2024. Court of Appeal upholds Asue Godalo's candidacy. There will be national crisis if APC does not allow free fair poll in Edo. Obaseki threatens. More the level of threats and warnings. What is happening?
When I hold you on the neck, the blood is gonna run dry. That's what they're saying technically in words. All right, let's move on to the Vanguard. Electricity, why systems collapse won't end soon. That's from an investigation there. We also have something there, the face of the new head of the civil service of the Federation. I'm going to really miss seeing the other, Madame Falashade, really going to miss seeing her face. But the beautiful thing is, Madame Didi is also beautiful. So, from one beauty to another beauty.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't done admiring Madame Didi. Anyway, there are other interesting stories.
Somebody
there.
behind the scenes is jealous.
So we also have something on Dangote Refinery, resolving issues on Dangote Refinery, and security forces issue system warning to sit-at-home promoters. Let's now move on to the next paper.
Okay, Daily Times now. NLC to Tinubu address public grievances amid looming national protest, urges president to invite protest organizers for dialogue. Okay, are you really inviting them for dialogue or for other things? Tinubu, traditional religious leaders caution youths against planned protest. Reps to sanction agencies and companies over alleged $60 billion inflated cash calls. We have troops raid IPOB ESN camps, neutralize 2 commanders, recover arms in Imo and Abia. Consumers shun bread pastries as prices continue to soar. Why won't consumers like me shun bread and pastries? I don't understand.
It's good for your health.
When they are selling a loaf of bread for 2,000 naira, I don't. So if I want to eat bread 5 times in a week, I have to spend.
Why would you eat bread 5. Wait. Do you finish one loaf of bread in one day?
Okay, first of all, there are 5 working days in a week. There are 7 days altogether
So you
in a
eat
week.
one bread per day?
What if I'm a family man?
Are you a family man, Ugochukwu Madumere?
Well, I may have people that are, looking up to me.
To even eat 5 loaves of bread in 1 week is even very unhealthy. Haba mana.
Let them reduce the price of the bread.
It's even unhealthy. So I think that the price of bread has some health benefits. It makes you understand that bread is not exactly good for your body. So you eat it once in 2 weeks.
So
or once a month.
So our Lord's Prayer that said, give us this day our daily bread.
They did not mean loaf of bread.
I did not see daily fufu.
Let's move to let's move to sport.
It's daily bread I saw there.
Let's move on to sport, please.
Oh, interesting. We'll have a couple of our athletes splattered across the face of the Punch Sports Extra this morning. And the Olympics, just how many days away now? 3 days before the opening ceremony. Well, let's look at some of the headlines. Paris 2024, Brazil's Adriana prioritizes Falcons opener. Forest and Ipswich battle for Ihana. So let's see who's going to win the battle now. Transport and Southampton agree 7 million for Onuachu. Why Osimhen may remain at Napoli because he is an Idon. Dortmund rule out Adeyemi sale. Euro will repay Devils' investment. He's talking about the Red Devils now, please. Liverpool.
Oh, God. Okay.
Liverpool near Kubo Soup. Kubo, that's a place for Real Sociedad, if I'm not mistaken. Olympic combatants. Nigeria's athletes taking part in combat sports in Paris 2024. Well, brings back memories of when I won several medals for Nigeria during the Olympics in 19-something. I can't remember.
Who? Who? Are you talking about the paper headlines? I didn't see there.
No, I said it brings back memories of when I won.
When you won what?
Medals.
For which? Your village?
For the country.
In which year?
19, I can't quite remember the exact year. 19-something. 19 before you were
It's like
born.
there's a different headline you are reading that I'm not aware of.
LeBron named USA's Olympic flag bearer. I mean, come on. Who else? Who else should take that honor? Well, again, Super
They had a
Saiyan
great game with US
against
and Germany.
oh,
Germany, yeah. They had
yeah,
a
Germany,
great
and the
game.
one against Sudan. It was.
Come on now, feel for Sudan.
It was, but it was a very slim victory for US. Very slim.
I don't know. People underrate Sudan.
Very
These guys.
slim. And they have very long legs, so.
It's really not about the legs, about the technique.
But I mean, you have to give it to them. Having to hold USA to the point that they did, that was commendable. Calafiori. Each time I read this guy's name, it always sounds like a meal. Calafiori set for Arsenal Medical. The thing they call calamari?
It's like we'll go on a music break right now because the way your mind is just going to.
Oh, look at that now. Your favorite guy. New twist in Osimhen. PSG deal.
Oh, God.
Napoli offers striker French side for 90 million plus Lee Kang in Nigerian opens to staying at Napoli. You see? I mean, options, yakpa. Because this guy is too good. De Bruyne, Ali Tahad,
oh, God.
Several other transfer stories. Pick up a copy of any of the papers and furnish yourself with the details on our national dailies this morning.
Anyway, he was reading the papers, I was just looking at Speed Darlington, showing us money that he made in the show in Philippines. I love the fact that Nigerians are booking him for events, trying to support his craft and show him some love. I really like that. Anyway, let's go on a music break right now. We have prepared something very nice this morning for you in our first music for the day. All right, welcome back. So we're going to move straight to some of the stories that we have for you in terms of reports that came through. So we have something on climate change, which was done, climate action rather, which was done by Ubako Emanuela. And in this particular report, it talks about where the the Federal Ministry of Environment, Department of Climate Change, has concluded a two-day workshop in Port Harcourt, theme One Climate, One Future. And the event is aimed at, to educate and engage Nigerian youth in the South-South region and government progress and programs when it comes to global efforts in climate action. Let's look at it.
Speaking at the event, the Director, Department of Climate Change, Dr. Iniobong Abiola Awe, said the workshop is meant to promote public awareness about climate change, and the program helps to support the Nigerian youth. Iniobong, who was represented by Principal Scientific Officer Edidiong Eyodo, noted that the program would improve the narration of climate issues across Nigeria.
The ministry recognizes the pivotal role of youth in climate change as prioritized strategy, communication, and engagement with youth and building an existing effort to support youth engagement with the nationally determined contribution and climate change initiative. This workshop aims to promote public awareness to support Nigeria's youth to achieve climate change engagement.
Also speaking, the DEX Officer Climate Change Rivers State Ministry of Environment, Nini Elele, said the program aims to empower youth on the issues of climate change, urging them to be advocates of good environmental practices.
The Ministry of Environment, Federal Ministry of Environment, Climate Change Department, in collaboration with World Resource Institute, have come to empower us, empower the youth, also to further strengthen what we have known, even as adults, to know how to address, mitigate, ameliorate and adapt to climate change concerns.
Also speaking, some of the participants shared the thought on the theme, One Climate, One Future.
Climate change is upon us, and if we don't act now, so the take back for them is they can start with their parents, their peers, their communities, where they live, where their schools are. They could talk. They are to act as environmental stewards towards climate action, climate mitigation, climate adaptation, how we can live with it and what we can do, how we can undo what we used to do and learn better ways of doing what will help our planet, since it's just one planet we have.
No way, the way I'm going to change the climate possibly, I'm going to affect the climate possibly. So I feel like when I get back to my school, I'm going to create an environmental club to at least reduce the waste or manage the wastes that are being produced daily, and just sort them out into plastics and other things so that the plastic can be recycled and it's going to reduce the carbon emission in the society.
Obuako Emanuela, Rapid TV News.
All right, from Port Harcourt, we'll now move to Lagos, where we have a story by Esther, which talks about agriculture development and Lagos repositions ministry to tackle surging food prices. And this is some of the action the Lagos state government has taken, and I must say it's a significant step. Let's get the report.
Addressing newsmen at the official rebranding of the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture, Commissioner in charge of the ministry, Abisola Olusayan, says this will ensure better performance towards managing the current food crisis and ensuring food sufficiency in Lagos.
The addition of three departments, the Department of Livestock Services would also be having the Agricultural Engineering Department, as well as the Agricultural Produce Safety and Quality Control Department. The reasons for these departments are also not far-fetched. Livestock Services, because we are in the process of having a feedlot, and not just a feedlot, we know Lagos as the hub for food, and not just the hub for food marketing, but also the fact that when it comes to cattle, when it comes to sheep and goats, Lagos still remains the epicenter of where these particular livestock are sold and processed and consumed.
The commissioner also adds that with the agriculture and food system roadmaps, which was launched in 2021, the state government has been able to focus on domestic self-sufficiency, up-country partnership, and logistics capacity development, as well as modern food markets.
have 4,675 registered farmers with us. Fisheries, we have over 5,000. This is not the artisanal fishermen, but just those practicing aquaculture. For piggery, that has reduced. We used to have well over 3,000 pig farmers in Lagos, which when you consider Okearo and Berigbe. But that number has dwindled as a result of the bad heat of ASF, which occurred as far back as 2021 and subsequently. We have 1,810. For vegetable farmers, we have well over 25 to 30,000 of them. And for rice, we have roughly about 800 and growing. When you consider the population, and like I said, we still have other food value chains which we have not mentioned, but you would see that in terms of what we are trying to do around harmonizing our database, it is for us to do more of precision support.
While speaking on the impact of the middle-level agro-produce platform in Mushin, the commissioner also adds that the food hub has recorded transactions of food worth over 918 million naira, with 339 vendors selling food at the hub free of charge. Estelle Mello, Rapid TV, Lagos.
All right, that's a very, very good development right there. We do have another report for you, but that will not come now, to come much later. And of course, if you remember yesterday, we did also give a report, just in case you didn't follow that, we'll also bring that to you this morning, because that will form the basis of our conversation at about 9 o'clock, which you do not want to miss. So later on the show at about 9, just to give you a hint of who we're going to be having in the studio, we're going to be having the coordinator of Rebuild Arewa Initiative and national coordinator of Nigeria Ethnic Forum to have a conversation regarding the northern position when it comes to situation in the country, the hardship, and of course the planned protest, which is supposed to be, if things are being adjusted, which right now we don't see anything being put in place, but just in case, the plan is for the protest to not hold. But then we'll have these conversations at about 9 o'clock, so try not to miss that. All right, so we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, it'll be a few minutes to 8 o'clock, where Ugochukwu will be doing his thing, but then we have something to show you before Ugo starts sports. All right, welcome back. All right, let's now move on to some interesting things, which I'm sure Ugochukwu has an idea of.
So certainly, we have, a couple of, I don't think it's up to a month now, Farouk Uragba did trend, for exuding a whole lot of swag and composure, yeah? So when I saw this video, it reminded me so much of Farouk Uragba for some very good reasons, but maybe we just play the video first, and let's see if it also reminds you of the same person I'm talking about, and then we'll be right back. Oh my God.
Fine man, fine man.
Guys, you guys didn't see, but Cynthia was all up,
You lie.
screaming.
If they've been following the show, they'll know you're lying.
Screaming.
If they've been following the show,
the number of
nah, don't make me say that on air, but nah.
She was just gushing all over his
They know you are
outfit,
lying because they already
his
know my
look,
spec.
his muscles, the
It-
biceps,
No.
the well-structured face.
They know my spec, so don't worry. They know you're lying.
And he's even somewhere now, you know,
This
somewhere.
is someone's husband that he came to marry. You think he you think this man flew all the way just to be here Agbada and take pictures and do video? Bro came to take his bride. Now I love the blue. The blue is the ultimate. I think the blue suits his skin tone so
Now
perfectly.
you see why blue is my favorite color, yeah? This is why the club that says they are blue, the blue club, is also one of the very best.
Please, let's move to a man wearing blue that came from abroad. So I would have said, "Oh, God, when?" But y'all know
He's somewhere right now
y'all
around
know
Central
that
area.
if he had come in a
Listen,
Idris Elba
listen.
color,
I know
he-
what you like.
you know what I like, and
have-
you're saying I did
listen.
ow.
I have the exact location of this man. He's somewhere in Central area. If you agree to release your salary for the month, I will give you the exact location.
I'm sorry, my love. Like I was saying, if you just give me this whole energy, give me this whole, steez, but put it in a package of an Idris Elba. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Now,
They all know I love my melanin popping.
now
Good.
there was a thing at Federal University of Agriculture at Abeokuta, where the students recreated a couple of looks, some of them from movie scenes, from movie stars, and a couple of celebrities and popular figures. So we're just going to look at some of the original concepts and then the recreation by some of the students during that event at Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Let's start with the first one right here. These are air hostesses, I don't know of which airline now, and this is the replication of, it seems as if they rocked it better than the original. Cynthia doesn't quite agree, but maybe
They did a good job in
yeah,
recreating.
a good job, yeah.
They did a good job in recreating. Beautiful.
Okay,
Really beautiful.
next one now.
I don't understand. Are we here to play? I don't get it. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
I thought.
Oh my God. Oh, this is Tommy Shelby, McQuilliam from Peaky Blinders. I know. This is Abeokuta version.
Okay.
Let's have the next one now. That's a clown. What's the replication?
This one looks like a.
Not so bad.
Well. Okay.
Okay. Oh, this
Heist.
money heist.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay,
Oh,
nice.
They got a complete.
Yeah, even the guns look real.
They got a complete costume. These guys must be from theater art. These particular
beautiful,
ones.
beautiful.
I think this is the best.
Now this, watch out. Oh my God. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Viola
but
Davis, the Agojis.
Okay.
I mean, but they didn't wear trousers. They didn't wear trousers.
No, but of course she probably want to show skin.
Is that the Ghost Rider? I'm trying to remember the exact name of that character.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
replica.
He tried, but we could see his face. The other one we couldn't see his face.
How can they catch this one, Sha?
Lagbaja.
Lagbaja. And
Okay.
ooh,
Not bad.
yeah,
Not bad.
And look at that blue again, bringing out
I didn't say anything about that. I just said not
some
bad.
beauty there.
Oh.
I'm not comfortable with this one. No. 'Cause
Why?
I don't know why you would want to replicate.
It's creativity. Come on.
Ha.
I'm sure this gonna
You
happen.
cannot be creative with people who are counting money or something.
No. I mean, these are more like costumes. Okay, these guys are probably in theater art. And as a theater artist, there are different roles you are going to play. Sometimes you play a witch, sometimes you play the villain, you play the good guy, you play the bad guy. So you can't just limit yourself to one particular place just because you want to speak into your future. Nah. Okay, okay, let's see this.
Oh my God.
Oh! I think these ones are more funky.
Yeah.
I like this ones.
Yeah. Replicated it beautifully.
Oh,
and this
Wednesday.
one of your favorite character now.
Yes. Wednesday. Oh, that's the head. No, but it was supposed to be finger.
Yeah.
The hands. It's supposed to be hands. It's supposed to be.
But she did well with the outfit and
Yeah,
the hair.
She did well with the outfit, but she would have gotten a hand. But anyway, where did you get a hand from?
Exactly. Is that Michael Jackson?
It's supposed to be.
Okay. Ooh.
This Michael, that is maintaining shape. Like you have a small flat tummy and small hips. But great.
Okay. Oh,
okay.
The Peaky Blinders now.
Okay, let's see.
Tommy and his brothers.
You kidding me? Come on, guys.
How about now?
Oh, that should
They
be
tried
your mark
small.
in the middle, right?
They tried small.
Okay.
Okay.
That was nice. That was nice.
Nice recreation there. Nice concept.
Yeah.
Totally love it.
They really did try.
These are one of the things that make you miss your days in school. You know, your days in NYSC, because it's hard for you to replicate these things when you started giving birth. You're now married.
Why can't you replicate
Life
them?
is now serious. They're
Why?
asking you for electricity bill and money for Pampers.
Jesus Christ. Why can't you replicate them? I can decide to wake up tomorrow and say I want to dress like a ghost and be on a show. You do nothing about it, Ugochukwu. All you just do is to wear your up and down.
We have our uniform in Abuja.
What's the uniform?
I know.
Up and down.
Yes, now.
But you need money for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's expensive. Talking
Yes.
about money, did you know that research confirms that money does indeed buy happiness?
I can't argue. You've never said any truer thing.
Than that one, right?
Honestly.
Let's have that on the screen, please. And so that research was a 2021 study by the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, now that's just coming to my head. Pennsylvania, Matthew Killingworth found that happiness continues to rise with income beyond $75,000. Now, while higher incomes generally boost happiness, there is a nuanced pattern. The least happy individuals see gains up to $100,000, after which their happiness plateaus, while others continue to experience increasing happiness with rising income. Talking about worry, because I know you saw the worry, this thing, talking about 85% of the things that you worry about really don't happen. Yeah, just to let you know that you should not worry. When you have money, you'll be happy. Yeah, 85% of the things we worry about, they never happen. And that's actually a valid research from Cornell University found that 85% of the things people worry about never happen. And of the 15% that do, 79% of individuals found the challenge easier to handle than expected or gain valuable lessons from them. So have money to make you happy and stop worrying because it may not happen.
I heard that exact quote, and I think I did put it up on my status after I heard it from the series Chernobyl. Comrade Sherbina said, why, it wasn't Comrade, it was one of the KGB directors who said, why worry about something that isn't going to happen? And that's the place where most of us are most of the time. So, instead of worrying, I have a suggestion.
Drink milk.
And be happy.
It's time for sports.
My name is also.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Vista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Carigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
Addressing this news conference, Coalition of Northern Groups expressed disappointment and concern over the dire economic situation in Nigeria, despite the country's large economy and population.
The CNG has observed that inflation has created horrible and traumatic economic consequences. It has led to huge losses on investment, disruption of business activities, an increase in poverty and unemployment. This is in addition to the social consequences created by insecurity, such as displacement of communities, loss of lives and properties, and psychological trauma. It is no longer news that pervasive hardship across the country has eroded trust in the present government, and it is exponentially threatening national unity, peace, and security.
With a staggering 38.9% poverty rate and 87 million people living below poverty line, the CNG believes that the recent increase in minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira, though a hard-won victory for the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), is merely a palliative measure.
For a long time, the CNG holds the firm view that increasing minimum wage amid rising inflation, devaluation of the naira, and pervasive economic crisis will never solve the problem of Nigerian workers. While we appreciate the federal government's intention to pay a decent living wage to Nigerian workers, we are skeptical over the federal government's plan to further increase the fuel price in order to fund the new national minimum wage. Hike in fuel prices will not only overburden the Nigerian workers, but it will also economically pauperize Nigerians.
The CNG argues that the only way to truly address the country's economic woes is for the president to summon the courage to tackle the root causes of the problems, including weak job creation and entrepreneurial prospect, which drive many Nigerians to immigrate in search of better opportunities.
Mr. President must summon the needed political will and courage to urgently address the root cause of these problems, that is, rising fuel pump price, hike in electricity tariff, escalating cost of food items, depreciating the value of the naira, and high cost of governance. These problems predated your government, but the policies your government adopted since coming to power have combined to compound these problems, especially the imposition of high taxation on both citizens and businesses.
The CNG urges the government to take bold action to address these underlying issues and create a more prosperous future for all Nigerians.
All right, welcome back. It's still Rapid Dawn, and this is the other side where I love the most. This part where we get to have our conversation, and we do have our guest in the studio. Now, before we came up, you saw that report right there talking about the economic situation, talking about, we did tell you that there's been, there've been talks of a planned protest. These and many more will form the basis of our conversation with our guest this beautiful morning. And we have our guest in the studio who is, the Arewa Initiative Coordinator for the Southern Zone as well. He is also, he's He's also Alhaji Yakubu Aliu, coordinator of Rebuild Arewa Initiative and national coordinator of Nigeria Ethnic Forum. A large portfolio. That means that he can speak on a lot of things. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I hope you're not shy.
No,
okay. So let's first of all start from, I mean, you did watch that report, which was talking about the economic situation. And one thing we were able to get from you that you're also a businessman, just in case you didn't know that, he's also a businessman. Now, from the perspective of a businessman, let's start from that part. How would you assess our economic situation right now?
Well, as a businessman, of course, I can speak a bit further about the economic situation of the country. Honestly speaking, the economic situation of the country, particularly from this 2024 to this moment, I think honestly is becoming more deteriorated than ever, because the inflation, the dollar rates, and all the forest policy, honestly, is not helping the businessman. Of course, as a businessman, most of the things we are doing is imported, and you cannot sell things with compared to the local currency. It has to convert it from the dollar to local currency. So that was why the inflation is going higher, because the dollar of its own is just like crazy every day. There is no stable market in the forest policy. So the economy, honestly, is in a very bad shape. Yes.
Some of the stories that we saw on our papers this morning says that about 30,000 people lost their jobs due to firms that were, leaving and dissolving. What would be your reaction to that? And also, we've been here, I mean, some of the policies that Mr. President did say during his campaign was that they're going to create jobs as well. But now we are having people losing their jobs because firms and business owners can no longer survive the situation. How would you want to react to that?
It's also in relation to what I just earlier said. One, in the first place, most of these firms, if you can agree with me, they are all based on imports. Now, you buy dollar probably 1,500 or 1,600, and then you buy the commodity. If there is no turnover, for sure there will be tendency of the firm to shut down. And when you are not operating, for sure you have to disengage your staff. And that is what we are facing today. Yes.
All right. You talked about the economy being in bad shape. Nigeria is not the only economy that is struggling. There are a couple of other economies in the world who are also passing through tough times. Now, do you think it's bad enough to justify the calls by, or the clamor by some sections of the country, some quarters who are now clamoring that there should be a demonstration? Do you think it's bad enough to get to that level where people should hit the streets to tell government that, look, we're not satisfied with what we have seen so far?
Well, if you ask of my opinion, of course, Nigeria and Nigerians, protest is due not even before this administration, but right from Buhari administration.
Okay.
The Nigerian masses are due to come out for protest. But unfortunately for Nigerians, if these protests were coming out to engage, there is going to be a leadership that will take responsibility and also control the protesters. It is something that's it's not a privilege. It's a civil right as Nigerians for me to engage in protest. It's part of my fundamental right as enshrined by 1999 Constitution. But the problem is, if we said, okay, we should come out and demonstrate and tell the government, look, enough is enough. Your policy is rather increasing more hardship and imposing, hunger and poverty to the general populace of Nigerians. Can we control the youths if they comes out? That is the question we need to ask ourselves, particularly the region where I come from, which is almost devastated by insecurity. Like if you go to Northwest, we have 7 states in the West, Northwest. Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto, Jigawa, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Kaduna. Sokoto, yes. Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Sokoto, Kebbi, Kaduna, and Zamfara. These states, if you calculate by numbers, Katsina is being taken over by bandits, Zamfara the same thing, some part of Kebbi, Sokoto, and Kaduna. So almost 5 states are affected by bandits. Now, if we said, okay, let us come out and engage in protest, how do we know if the criminal elements are not going to take over?
Okay.
You understand? And then vandalize and loot people's property that has nothing to do with government. And then when the state is become ungovernable, of course there is tendency for these bandits to come out and take over the cities, whereby in the course of searching for our fundamental right, we keep the cities deserted, because when the bandits come into the town, all the responsible men may have to leave the town for them. So that is the implication. Ordinarily, the policy and the way and manner Nigerian government is treating the masses, honestly speaking, if we are to conduct this protest in a civilized manner, it is time for all of us, not even the masses, including some of the elites, to come and protest against the policy of the government.
I think
okay, so if you are worried about the ability of protesters now to conduct themselves in a civil manner and make sure that the protest is not hijacked, what then should they do? Should they continue to bear what you might term unfavorable policies by government? Should they continue to keep their hands folded and keep watching things spoil? What should Nigerians do?
Well, in the first place, one thing we should have to appreciate is that it is when there is Nigeria, you talk about economy. It is when there is Nigeria, you talk about whatever policy you want to set. Now, when the state becomes ungovernable, at least let's just take example. I don't want to go outside Nigeria. I want to remain within my own domain, which is country where I belong to, Nigeria. Far back, about 2-3 years ago, we had what happened in the protest of NSAS. There is a lot of damages, vandalization, hoodlums taking over all the activities of the NSAS. Yes, of course, the organizers of the NSAS have a good intention by telling the police authority, look, you have to disband the SAS. But that does not end on that. It becomes almost like in the south, particularly a state like Abia and other states, there are serious damages that has to do with some regional issue. If not that NSAS is being handled in a very proper manner, maybe it might escalate to a kind of confrontation between one tribe to another. So that is what we are trying to avoid. Ordinarily, like as I said, it is more than mature for Nigerians to come out and protest on the street for the policy of this government. But in other way, I think what I will suggest, we cannot keep quiet. We have our representatives from the State Assembly to the House of Representatives and that of the Senators. Now, the State Assembly represents you from your local government to the state level. Then the House of Representatives represents you from the federal constituency to the National Assembly. Likewise, the same with the Senator from district to the National Assembly. These are our representatives, whether we like it or not. We elected them in one way or the other. Now, when you are being elected as a state assembly member or House of Representative or Senator, there is no party anymore. You are a representative of both PDP, APC, ABGA, Labour, and any other member of your constituency. I think I would suggest there is no way you can tell me in the 36th state of Nigerian Federation that there is no responsible man in each and every state where you belong to. I can advise, if we can go by that, from the local government, let us have some delegation who can go and meet our state assembly members and tell them, look, enough is enough. This is our message. Convey our message to our governor. Then we also go back to the House of Representatives and tell them, look, enough is enough. Convey our message to the president, because we cannot bear it. Wherever you fail, In part, whatever you see bear the consequences.
Do you
I
not think
we
that
have
these representatives are aware of the situation? Because I wanted to point you to the fact that, recently, even the deputy speaker of the House of Reps was saying that he doesn't mind, having his salary so that people can be helped. So I think that it's not a question of whether they are aware. They are aware of what their constituents are passing through. But now in this situation where some of them are even suggesting they don't mind forfeiting some part of their pay so people can see food to eat.
The salary, ask how much is the salary? And then how many of them? You have 360 members of Federal House of Representatives. Then you have 109 senators. So assuming they are earning, let's assume it. I'm just making an assumption. Maybe, let's make it flat rate, 3 million. No, I'm just giving an assumption. Don't quote me on that. It's just an assumption. Assuming, because I'm making an example. This is national television. Now, if you divide it into two, it is assuming you quote 1,000,005. Divide it into, times it into 360. Then with 109 senators. How long does it go? How many lives does that discount going to affect? It's going nowhere.
Okay, but don't you think, so aside from the halving their salary, which they proposed.
It's just on sympathy and empathy, that's all. But it goes nowhere.
Okay, so let's now move to the part where, because I don't you think that if they have their salary, the 360 and the 190 something, they have their salary, and add it up to the monies that they said was meant to be to cushion the effect of the economy, which, if I remember correctly, sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, the president did say, okay, we're going to cushion the effect of the economy on some people. There were trucks of rice that were being sent out and the likes. And then recently now, so before we move to the aspect where people are not actually receiving this rice and these items, so these monies that have been said, okay, we're going to share it to Nigerians, in the words, vulnerable Nigerians. If we add that monies that was budgeted for that, and also add these people half of their salary, don't you think that at least it will be able to make up something?
As a matter of fact, I will tell you absolutely no, because what the Nigerian need now is a permanent solution to this problem. Bringing rice, 20 trailers of rice to various states, it's not helping matters, because that does not end the crisis. This is something that will just be temporary, maybe after 1 or 2 weeks. If we give a state 20 trailers of rice, now each trailer contains 600 bags of rice. 600 times 20, how many bags of rice? Like my state where I belong to, the population of Jigawa State is more than 5 million. So if you take 20 trailers of rice to Jigawa State, who and who are you sharing the rice with? Who and who?
So now, just recently,
even in my local government alone, where I come from, 20 trailers of rice cannot be enough for us.
Okay, so I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, there was a video that was circulating where some persons were complaining about how the rice was being shared, and people were brought together and were given 1 bag of rice to share. So imagine 1 bag of rice to be shared to about more than 10 people.
And I mean, if you're sharing to me, I have to go and share with the rest of my family as well.
So do you think that the sharing formula is corrupt? Because I mean, we've had cases whereby, I mean, we had the issue during the humanitarian affairs, the previous Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, where things that were given out to be shared to people, the IDPs and the rest of them, they didn't receive these things. Even the monies that were saying, okay, were meant for Nigerians to cushion the effect of COVID-19, still some persons did not receive. So do you think that is what is happening in the case of these bags of rice?
This is what I'm just saying. Look, you see, if you gave the trailers of rice, the circumstance warrants such sharing. Now you give 20 trailers of rice to a particular state, and everybody wants to have it. There's no way you expect everybody to have 1 bag of rice. Some may have 1 rubber, some may not even have up to 1 rubber. So what the Nigerian needs now is, of course, it's just a temporary solution, giving out the rice. But I think the Nigerian need a permanent solution to this problem.
So what is this permanent solution?
The permanent solution is for the government to change its policy. If I were to be the president, I think what I would do is, we have business tycoon in this country. Call the businessmen, call the opinion leaders, sit with them, and then look a way of helping the business entrepreneur. Because when there is employment, there will be tendency of, eradicating poverty. And when the poverty is being eradicated, nobody will talk about hunger.
The number one, what you might call, or who you might call the number one business person in Nigeria is lamenting that the process or the environment is not favorable to him.
Exactly. In fact, the current feud between himself and the NMDPR is, so, I mean, it's going back and forth.
Yeah, but this is the whatever we want, no matter whatever institution you have in Nigeria, it is directly answering to the Mr. President. So Mr. President has solution to all this lingering issue. If Mr. President decided to wield his big stick against any of his employee, of course, we'll learn by lesson. Do you understand? Now, okay, I don't want to talk about that, but let me speak about it.
Okay.
Now, the man, I saw it on news yesterday, he was like lamenting that his friend, who is also a wealthy man, was like laughing at him, that I told you, don't invest in Nigeria. And he said, no, I will. Now he has invested. You can imagine that a crude oil that we are producing here in Nigeria cannot be given to that man to refine, for us to have little leverage, because this issue of fuel is another problem we are undergoing. If we are able to get the fuel price in a minimal rate, I think all this inflation of food commodity, for sure it will come down. This is a refinery. One single individual built a refinery that will refine 650,000 barrel per day.
Per day, yeah.
Join all the government refineries we have. In Port Harcourt, there is 2 refineries, old and new. Then we have one in Wari and that of Kaduna. Join all, they cannot produce up to 650,000 barrels per day. But an individual who feel he can build and also give lives to ordinary Nigerians for us to access well in a very cheap rate. But he built it and now they are prostrating him.
Now, some people want to argue in the case of Dangote that he shouldn't complain because he has been a major beneficiary of successive government, over and over again. So if there is a problem coming up right now, that he should go back and check the root cause of the problem and sort it out and not disturb the ears of the Nigerian people, because for a long time he has, according to what is being said, he has monopolized the market. How would you want to react to that?
How does he monopolize it? Did he tell somebody, did he tell any rich man not to invest in Nigeria? I'm not his spokesperson, but I don't want to believe that he monopolize the system. 1. 2, at this junction, I think we are not to blame Dangote, because we should encourage Dangote for Dangote to have this crude oil in his refinery so that he can refine this fuel. Maybe if he refine it, there is going to be competition in the market. Then the market will balance itself. I think that is what we should be talking about now, not to talk about the fast. The fast is about cement, is about flour, is about sugar and coal. Now we are talking about fuel that is affecting every system, because fuel is affecting every system. As a farmer, you farm in the farm, you still require transportation to bring it to a community where you are to dispose it. Those things require fuel. There is no vehicle move without fuel or diesel. So these are what we are talking about. So I think it's not about trading blame for now. It's about how this refinery of Dangote can become active so that the local fuel we have, and both the marketers and Dangote can now compete. Let's see whether the fuel price will shut down a bit.
All right, we'll go on a very short breather right now, short break, but we still have our guest here. When we come back, we would have the last part of our conversation. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. That was Olimos there. We don't intend to break your heart. Just hold the feeling, the protest and everything. We still have our guest right here, Alhaji Yakubu Aliu. He's the coordinator of Rebuild Arewa Initiative and national coordinator of Nigeria Ethnic Forum. And I heard that he controls under his watches 17 southern states. I wish we had time to talk about how it is like, to have 17 southern states. Maybe just tell us about that briefly.
Well, as an NGO, you are only answering the name, but you still have coordinators in each and every state. So you cannot. NGO is like a ministry. You have your PAMSEC, you have your director, you have all sorts of people that can be giving you information.
Why did you choose 17 southern states? Why not the north?
No, see, if you look at it in the north, the south, the 17 southern states we are talking about is the northerners.
Okay.
Residing in those various states. So I'm representing their interests. That is the position, not that the entire people within the southern region.
Okay, so yes. The northerners in the south.
Exactly, that is the Rebuild Area Initiative. But when we are talking about the Nigerian Ethnic Forum, that is the whole Nigeria at large. I'm the national coordinator of that. But as for the Rebuild Area Initiative, I'm protecting the interests of the entire northerners residing in the 17 southern states.
Which now brings us to my next question, which is actually the fact that some people have argued that the president only listens when the North speaks. I mean, we could see it. And that is why when the whole story about the northern groups, the different northern groups come to say, okay, the planned protest, the economic situation, it was like, oh, great. So now they are speaking. That means the president is going to listen. I mean, we saw it play out during the Ministry of Livestock that was introduced, because sometime in June, they did the Cattle Breeders Association did talk about having a Ministry of Livestock, and just barely how many weeks later
there was an announcement.
There's an announcement to that. So would you want to speak to that?
No, but that recommendation has been there since during Buhari administration. So the president only implemented it. And if you look at his campaign, he said it's going to continue from where the previous administration stopped. So I think it's a continuation of Buhari administration.
Is it only on the cattle? Because we have so many things that he could have continued on. But then
well, he's looking at the pressing issue, of course.
Oh!
Okay.
Please though. It is not we that said it. So he said the pressing issue is cattle.
No, I didn't say so. Please, I said maybe he's looking at the pressing issue, not only the cattle. We cannot look at cattle as a pressing issue now. There are so many pressing issues that we are pressing in this country. Yes. But the thing is that the creation of the ministry, has it been taken up? Of course, up to now, nothing is done there. It's just proclamation.
I mean, there'll be things happening on the ground, and
we've just seen the announcement. We're yet to see
action. There's no action follow up yet.
And the last time we heard that they were setting up committee to flesh it up and begin to make recommendations, and those who are going to make up the ministry. We also heard that they're going to be we're going to have people who graduated from what's this course again that has to do with livestock and all. They are going to be part of the ministry, since they are, I mean, it's more practical.
Yeah,
and the life. So, but are you excited about that?
Yes, I am, of course. It adds values to our ministries, and also it will generate more employment.
Okay. Let me follow that up by saying that the views of some people who are not in support is the fact that, oh, this is now another avenue for government to spend money. And the people who are saying they want to go and protest, in fact, one of the things they are demanding from government is that there should be a reduction in cost of governance, in terms, there's 115, 1,000 essays. You have 1,001 MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. Can we find a way to begin to reduce? Because look, if you look at it, there's the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, you know, which is all encompassing. Why do you now feel the need to create a Ministry of Livestock? Are you also going to create a Ministry of Plant Breeding, you know, which is also a part of agriculture? And now, let me also, two questions in one now. The view of some people who feel like that announcement, you know, it's not in our best interest because an avenue for government to spend money. And then secondly, you said you didn't want to go out of Nigeria, but let me take you to Kenya now, where because of the actions of more like the totality of Kenyans, you know, government had to listen. Because you keep talking about being patient, waiting on governments to do a change in policy, but people have been patient right from time, you know. Looking at what happened in Kenya, you also talked about the fact that, oh, what's going to be the outcome of this? Will it not be hijacked? In Kenya, lives were lost. And some people might want to say, oh, that's the sacrifice they needed to make to achieve the results that they have now in view of all of this. First, do you think, you know, the process is going to happen? And, you know, what are your views generally as we begin to wrap up?
Okay, like I said, honestly, initially I don't want to go out of the country, but since you have mentioned Kenya and you cited as an example, I want people to look at what happened in Kenya critically, and I also want us to compare Kenya and Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that have 36 states of the federation, with Abuja 37, and then we have more than 200 million population in Nigeria. Kenya as a whole have about 54 to 57 million population. Now, in Kenya, you have about 5 to 6 tribes. But I can tell you in Nigeria, in one local government, you can find up to 10 tribes. Now, you can see the gap and the coordination. Now, I don't want to believe with those. I disagree with those that can tell us that Kenyans are more civilized than Nigeria. I don't want to believe, and I don't want to agree with that. And I don't also want to agree with those that says Kenyans are more educated than Nigeria, because this is my country and I love my country. So I believe my country is the best. We are the most intellectual. We are the most civilized people as far as I am concerned, because I cannot praise any other country more than my own country. This is my fatherland. I don't have any other country than Nigeria. So if I'm giving credit to any other country, I should first give to my own country before any other country. Now, going by that, a country with 54 million or 57 million population, with only 5 or 6 tribes, you can assess the damages caused by that protest that took place in Kenya. In fact, up to now, there is no stability in Kenya.
Yes.
Up to this moment as I'm talking to you. Now, let me also go back to Libya. The Arab Spring, Tunisia, Egypt, and Libya. Now, Sudan. Do we really have absolute peace in those countries up to this moment? The answer is virtually no. In Libya, there is still parallel government. There are states that are not being controlled by the central government. The same thing in Sudan. The only place that is a bit settled now is that of Tunisia and Egypt. So now, and these are countries that have only few tribes. Now, how much more if you allow such to take place in Nigeria? Like as I said, all the policy we are talking about, you talk about the policy when there is a state called Nigeria. If there is no Nigeria, nobody will talk about the policy. And when the country is being taken over by miscreants and criminal elements, you and I cannot stay in this studio and be discussing what we are discussing here. So that is what we are avoiding. I know where I come from. Like as I said, I am from northern region. And our region is being devastated by insecurity. Go to Borno State. Up to tomorrow, there is still pocket of Boko Haram attack in Borno State.
Yes.
There are places in Borno State up to this moment that you cannot travel on your own and say you are going there. till tomorrow, despite the fact that we are not hearing Boko Haram attack this, attack that, but of recent there is even bomb blast in Borno State. Do you understand? So the fear unknown is the fear of unknown is what we are talking about. If this protest will come out and condole ourselves orderly, I as I'm sitting here in this studio, I will lead a massive group to conduct this protest. As I'm sitting down here with you, if this protest is to condole ourselves, we do it peacefully and register our grievances to the government for government to listen to us. I personally will lead group to do the protest. But unfortunately, I doubt if we will go, we can go. But what about coming back?
So going is guaranteed.
Going is guaranteed. But what about returning? Are we really returning in bulk as we go in bulk?
That's a very important question.
Coming back in group as we go in group?
But don't you think the government has a part to play in the peacefulness of this protest? Because when the talks of the protest started, as we wrap up now, this is my last question from me. As the protest talks started, we started hearing that the police have been deploying security operatives with ammunition and
heavy
the rest
artillery and all of that
in different places, because they are already predicting that it is going to be violent. So don't you think that is even a problem on its own?
That is part of what we are still saying. The Nigerian police and all other security agencies understand the nature. The security agencies of Nigeria, they are Nigerians. They understand the characters of Nigerians. They have been mixed up with these protesters. I can assure you, most of these protesters, there are those that have a very good intention, like me, maybe and you if you wishes. But
if it's peaceful.
If it's peaceful. But there are those that are only praying for this opportunity to come and then hijack it and go and loot people's property. Is it a protest? The answer is no. It's the same thing that happened in Kenya. It started peaceful, but at the end of the day, it turns to looting, vandalization, and violence. That is what we are afraid. Ordinarily, the Nigerians, we are pushed more than, if there is anything more than protest, Nigerians, we are pushed beyond that.
But one might look at it and say, at the end of the day, they got what they wanted.
The government?
The people, they asked for, they didn't want the finance bill, it was taken away. In fact, a couple of cabinet members even had to step down.
Yes, the cabinet members have been all dismissed from, that's the Kenya. Now, like as I said, Kenya is just 54 million population, or 57, with only 5 or 6 tribes that can just easily call themselves together and say, look, we should stop this, it's enough. We can't be killing ourselves. You understand what I mean? But I am still telling you, in Nigeria, particularly in the northern region, there is a local government that you go, we have more than 10 tribes in that one single local government. So how do you coordinate these people?
Shouldn't
how
our
do you bring
diversity
synergy
make
to
us
this?
stronger?
It should, of course, but to an extent, you understand, in terms of protesters, we know the young boys we have up today. I'm not against the protest, and of course, no reasonable Nigerians will tell you that it's against the protest as far as you are an average Nigerian. But the consequences of the protest is what we are all looking at. If we can go and come back peacefully, we go to the National Assembly and take over the National Assembly, we go to the presidential villa and stay
without
2-3
destroying
days,
government
2-3 days until the president say, look, Nigerians, I understand your grievances. What and what did you want? We outline our problems and you say, okay, I cannot take all. You give me 10. I'm taking 5. Please, 5 cannot be carried. Then we say, okay, it's win-win situation. We come back with happiness.
As we wrap up, I want to say that, is it that the president does not know what the problems are, that we have to go and lay down by his door to tell him that, sir, see what we are facing? He's been fed the news daily. He gets updates from his aides and ministers and the rest. He gets the information. But for any president that would want his people to go to the extent of lying down by his door to tell him what he already knows. It's like a father expecting you to tell him you need money when he knows he has not given you money for a long time. Is that considerate?
Well, of course it isn't, but the circumstance, like as I said. Do you understand? Now, the situation here is this. The president has a listening ear. He has a brief report on a daily basis. But the question is that, how sure are you if they are giving him positive situation of what the ordinary Nigerians are undergoing? Because it's at the top level.
Or maybe our suffering is not of top priority yet.
Well, I don't want to say about that, but I know that government, that was why they call it democracy, is government for the people and by the people. And of course, every responsible government, the belief is for the welfare of its citizens.
And with that,
which I believe the president should, as a matter of urgency, address this issue so that the Nigerians will have a relief.
With that, I would say thank you so much, Alhaji Yakubu Aliyu, for having this very great, exciting conversation with us. We've learnt a lot. I'm sure we've spoken the minds of Nigerians, and of course, Nigerians have heard from you as well. Maybe what you've said would make them say, okay, we're not going to protest again. Or maybe they'll say, okay, we'll make it peaceful, however the case may be. Or maybe a magic might just happen before August, the slated time for Thank you so much. Alhaji Yakubu Aliyu, Coordinator of Rebuild ROI Initiative and National Coordinator of Nigeria Ethnic Forum. And with that, we say, we are done with the show.
We have gone and we have come back.
Thank you for having me.
Exactly. We've come and gone. We've gone and come. And market was good. So guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Wednesday promises to be exciting. If all things work together for our good, we have something planned out interesting for you tomorrow, and you do not want to miss. Do ensure to follow us on our social media platform on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our